Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing great. This is Tushnee Namhata, a student of class 12 from Bakudam Hindu High School. Today I'm going to talk about the doctors. We all know that they really deserve the utmost respect from all of us. They put their lives at risk to save our lives. But at the end of the day, they don't really get that proper respect from us. Sometimes we misunderstand them. Maybe they are treating the person, or maybe they couldn't save that person, but it is not in their hands. We shouldn't always see them as the god, because they're also human at the end of the day, and not all the time they can save a person. So, for that case, we shouldn't always misjudge a person. We shouldn't always think that he can do everything. There is also the same kind of situations he can also like face, and it is like maybe those are grave problem than all of us. So, as the example, I want to tell a story to all of you about one doctor. There was once a young boy in a city who belonged to a very rich family, like too much rich. And at his last birthday, he got a very good bike from his parents. And every day he used to go to his college by riding that bike. But what is the main problem behind it is that he used to drive in a very high speed, like recklessly. So one day when he was going to his college in his high speeding bike, unfortunately one truck came in front of him and he met with an accident. And he was thrown too much far away from his bike, and he was severely injured in his head because he didn't have his helmet on. At that moment there are so many people who gathered around him, but they couldn't have the courage, they didn't have the courage to bring him to the nearest hospital, to call the ambulance. But after some moment one gentleman came and took him to the hospital by riding a taxi. When he admitted him into the hospital, he found his phone in his bag and immediately called his father. His father also came in no time in the hospital, but unfortunately, at that moment, the only surgeon wasn't available there. So, for that case, there was once a nurse. He called the doctor and said that there is one patient who is severely injured and needs immediate treatment. But the doctor was stuck in his personal problems and said that he couldn't make it. He won't be there, he couldn't be there, and it is like he is getting some problems. But after insisting him, the nurse said that he really needs immediate treatment or else he wouldn't live. He has a severe injury in his head. So for that case, the doctor said that okay, give me some time, I'll be there in 1 hour. When the doctor reached the hospital, the parents of that boy accused him for being late and said that he didn't even have some kind of responsibility. He is not doing his own responsible towards the patient. But at that moment, the doctor said that please let me do my job. It is the question of life and death of that boy. After treating him, I'll listen to all of your questions. So after that, he went to the operation room, and after some times, he went out and said that the operation was successful and he is now out of danger, but we'll keep him in observation. But he didn't even give the scope to the patient parties and just rushed out of the hospital. So at that moment, the father of that boy asked the nurse that what kind of doctor is he? He didn't even have some kind of responsibility to the patient, to the families. He didn't even answer the questions. He shouldn't be a doctor and he is the worst kind of person. Then the nurse said that sir, you shouldn't judge a person without knowing the situation. He lost his boy only at that morning in a car accident and said that he was stuck in the cemetery for his funeral works. And after getting the call from us, he came here in no time, just keeping the funeral work stopped and just treated your boy. And now he again went to the cemetery to finish the rest of the works. The father had no words to speak, because we all know that he judged the doctor without knowing his situation, where he was at that moment. And it is like obviously doctor is human also, he can also have the own kind of problems. Like this in life, there are so many doctors we usually see every day whom we are just judging, whom we are just underestimating, that they don't have their personal life. Obviously they have both the professional and personal life. They have to balance them both. Sometimes they have bigger problems than us. So without knowing the problem, without knowing the fact he is in, you shouldn't judge a person. And my request to all of you is that just know what he is into, what he is doing right now. Maybe he is in grave danger also, but still he is putting his life at risk to save your life. So for that case, obviously, if you don't just think about the person who is in front of you, who is just speaking about his problems, and you are not even listening to it, you will be the one person who will have the sins. And I think if God is really exists, so for that case he won't be happy for that. And for that thing, I would like to say that this is my personal request to all of you. Just don't judge a person without knowing about him. And a doctor is obviously a doctor. If a true doctor is there, he will do anything to save the patient's life. So that is all about this, and I hope you all do well in future. And I apologize for any kind of mistakes I have made.